If you've got hip or low back pain, you might want to blame these, and this. Yep, our feet have been locking up since the day they got shoved into these stiff, unyielding, tight shoes. And it only gets worse with every step we take on the flat, unyielding floors. But here's the thing. Our feet are full of joints that crave movement. Why? Because every joint sends feedback to your brain. And that moment is really like a good phone call. It keeps your nervous system in the loop, and that brain-body connection becomes more and more important as we age. However, when your feet stop moving well, your hips and back step in to compensate. And that's a recipe for tension, misalignment, and pain. There's even a study that backs this up. Poor foot mobility can throw off your entire lumbopelvic hip complex. In other words, stiff feet, cranky hips. And that's why I tell my Bamboo Body students, a jammed joint is going to create weaker muscles. So before you do any strength or stability work, we need to start from the ground up. Literally. So today, I'm going to walk you through a few foot mobility drills to help you release your feet, support your hips, and even take pressure off your knees. These are perfect before your workouts, your hikes, or even just a walk around the block. Because when you mobilize below, you move better above. Now, if this is your first time with Bamboo Bodies, understand that we are training your brain so you can age better. But not every single drill, like a foot drill, is gonna be right for you right now. So we're gonna take a baseline so that you can understand where your nervous system is right now and your brain's ability. We're gonna do the drill, and then we're gonna reassess to see, did that drill improve your brain's function? And that's gonna give you better guidance to say, hey, I know for a fact that that foot drill did me better. In Bamboo Bodies, we're taking out the guesswork to make things simple for you. Let's go ahead and create a baseline. One thing you can do is mobility. And because the feet have an effect on the hips, you can play with hinging forward and seeing where you are in flexion, seeing within that flexion of the spine and the flexion of the hips, giving yourself an opportunity to test out those hamstrings, and again, that forward flexion motion. Now, another thing that you can do is also play with rotation. So bring your legs together, palms together, and you're gonna rotate from side to side, pointing your finger at one point to an area of the room that you can designate your far right, and the other side is your far left. Those are gonna be 2 points that you have to come back to reassess. Now let's jump on in. Take a seat. We're gonna start with the talocalcaneal joint. This subtalar joint actually has a direct correlation to the musculature of your hamstrings. Now, it's gonna look like a hamstring stretch, but what my intention is pushing my heel down into the ground, and then I release. As I push my leg down, I'm creating mobility around this area of the ankle joint. So for anyone who has torn hamstrings, tight hamstrings, weak hamstrings, this could be a really cool drill for you to do before you go into any of your training. I'll go from 3 to 7 times on each side. And of course, when we're starting to learn this, you might do it a few more, but the basic movement is hinging forward, pushing my heel down into the ground as I relax the foot. I'm trying to feel and maybe even see these micro movements. It's not going to be anything too big. It should never be painful, and ideally not too noisy. Let's reassess. Reassessing can be really exciting for many of us when we realize, I just got better from ankle mobility. Try where you are, go back to your standing position, put your palms together and shift from side to side and see if that movement changed a little bit. Now, mobilizing that heel joint could help you in how you're walking and how you're moving and how you're strength training. But I'm not done, because while getting that area of the foot to move, this could be one of your many gold nuggets. Let's go into the second one. Sitting long and tall through the spine, you're gonna bring one foot forward and point your foot down to the floor. Could you reach a little longer through those toes, like you're trying to stretch as long as you possibly can? Good. Now turn your foot inward nice and slowly. You've got to remember to keep a long spine. I'm going to hinge forward, and as you'll see here, I'm creating a little bowing to the outside of my foot. I've come to find with my bamboo body students, this is one of the most gentle ways to mobilize this bone known as the cuboid. This bone has a direct neurological association with the contractibility of your glute medius. So anyone with knee pains who's doing different clamshells, this could be a really cool exercise to do before you do your physical therapy. Let's set up for the next foot. As you point your foot down to the floor, remember to keep a long spine. Toes reach out as wide as they can, and then slowly turn your foot inward. And as I hinge forward, I look at my foot like a rolling pin. As I roll to the outside area of that foot, I watch for this tiny little bowing in the outside of my foot to gently mobilize the cuboid. Give yourself an opportunity to reassess. You're gonna find reassessing to be a little monotonous at times, and you may still be riding the high from the previous exercise, but again, we are starting to see, is there any type of change? Coming into our third exercise, we're going to work the inside of the foot. So I'm gonna take my left or my right foot, you'll mirror me, and I'm going to sit long and tall through the spine as I push that foot down into the floor. I'm still gonna push the foot forward like a rolling pin, and if you look down at your foot, again, you should see this little bit of bowing to the inside. This mobilizes a bone known as the navicular. The navicular has a neurological connection to your psoas, this kind of angular muscle that can help support your back, your hips, and of course, it'll work with above and below support. Giving yourself an opportunity to roll that ankle, shake it out, and switch to the other side. Turning your foot out. Again, we're trying to roll the middle, the inside of the foot forward. Push the foot down into the floor and then push the foot forward like a rolling pin that you're trying to roll forward. And look for this tiny little micro movement to this mid-foot area. Giving yourself an opportunity to shake it out and reassess. It's within these exercises that you might find yourself either increasing your range of motion or even being able to improve how you're able to move through strength training exercises. Your speed is another important aspect that we recognize is an output from the brain. If the brain feels safe because it has mobility and mapping and stability from the feet, the brain's gonna give you more better movement. I don't think that's right English, but regardless. Last one, here's your fourth one. Long through the spine, see a little theme here, jam joint creates weakness. Well, even in the spine, we wanna get that space. Turn to your right, and if you are seated in a chair that has a back, hold on to your back, and I want you to bring your left knee down towards the floor and point your toe. Now, people will tend to cramp during this moment, and it is okay because this movement is not that familiar, and a cramp is a really great way for your brain to tell you, I don't want you to do this right now, it's too new. So be gentle with this. You will slowly start training the brain to become familiar with this movement as we're gonna create an interesting setup. I need your back foot to press down to the floor. And as you notice, I'm not coming into the foot or the ankle or toes, I'm lying the top of the foot down the floor as I push it downward. Then my knee will slide forward as I keep a long spine, and I get to this moment where there's this pull and traction in the midfoot. Again, you will see it is not toes, but midfoot. I kind of pull my knee forward as I push on the floor 3 to 4 times, roll the ankle just to release if there's any new tension from that muscular positioning, and switch to the other side. Over to your left, make sure that you're sturdy in your chair, hold the back of your chair if you have a back, and let your right knee come down to the floor. Top of the foot pushes down into the ground as you lengthen through the spine and slide your front right knee forward. You will get to this paused tension point where you create a little bit of a traction spring in that midfoot, and then you bring your foot forward for ankle roll. We're mobilizing the cuneiforms, this top little row of bones across where your shoelaces would be tied, and this can have great effect for your hip flexors. So let's use those hip flexors, stand on up, and let's reassess. One last time, seeing how that movement might have changed for you, this gives you an opportunity to also explore a little more with your movement. I'll go through these seated foot mobility drills before I put my shoes on, before any activity, because I want my brain to have full functioning ability before I go out and do any of my activities. If you like the content you're seeing, be sure to like and subscribe. I've got more videos coming your way to support you on your aging journey. These movements are the building blocks to age training because there are certain checklists that we have to go through. And if you're interested in more opportunities for you to better train your brain to age better, check out any one of these videos because I will continue to work with you as we all train to age well.